Greetings, people. Rasta Tafari bless. Shabbat Shalom. It is Saturday the 7th of March here in the UK. It's coming up to 12:30 midday. Today I just want to go through some evidence for depopulation. But first of all, because it's the Sabbath, it's the Saturday, I just want to read some scripture. This one's from the book of Hebrews, chapter 5, verses 13 to 14. For everyone who lives on milk is inexperienced in the message of righteousness, because he is an infant. But solid food is for the mature, whose perceptions are trained by practice to discern both good and evil. Okay, what does this mean? And shall we have a look into this a bit more deeply? Yeah. So, first of all, I just want to say, obviously, it's an analogy of how nature is, how natural babies mature from milk to hard food. You know, it's the same way the young mind grows with the knowledge of truth. You know, when you're young and you're searching, you're seeking for truth and reality, there's so much out there, especially with the internet, you don't know what to believe. But when you start to grasp some basic truths, then you can move on and really start to discern good and evil. But to do that, you need to have some basic truths just to start yourself off. And a lot of people today in the world obviously are getting lost because there's so much information out there. They don't know what's real, what's true, what's lies. Or what, you know, we as Ras Tafari people stick to the Bible, and we hold that as the truth. That's our groundation, that's our foundation, and that's what Haile Selassie teaches. So we use the message from the Bible to guide us and help guide us. Now, going on to discerning the truth about depopulation, with the current crisis, corona crisis, coronavirus, COVID-19, we have to wonder where this virus come from. Now, is this evidence for depopulation? Possibly. We have to look at this. So let me just go through a few things. I'm not sure if you've heard of the Georgia Guidestones. They're in America. Some huge stones have been erected by a secret society. Nobody really knows. And these stones contain commandments, 10 commandments, I believe, written in many different languages. And the first commandment on the stones is to maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Okay, so these people who put these stones in Georgia are obviously very wealthy people. The stones are humongous, with a cost, I don't know, maybe millions of pounds to erect these stones, to move them and get them there. So obviously some very rich people have wrote this information on these stones. Now, the worrying thing is to maintain humanity under 500 million. Okay, so what is the Earth's current population now in 2020? You may be wondering. That's the question to ask. It's actually 7.8 billion people. That's 7,800,000 million, I believe, if I've got that right. But it's a lot of people. It's actually a reduction of 7.3 billion people. This is what these stones are asking for. They're asking for a 93.6% reduction in humanity. Wow. When you look at it like that, you do have to wonder, who are these people and what are they planning? Now, I understand these people to be the Freemasonic movement, who worship Satan in a nutshell. And they're looking to kill off people in order to be able to control the population easier, to control the world a lot, It'd be a lot simpler if there's less people, wouldn't it? And they try and make out that the earth is overpopulated. I've heard this. Many people believe that the earth is overpopulated. It's rubbish. Don't believe it. The cities are overpopulated, maybe. Now, the cities are where people are confined to a concrete jungle, where they have to go to work. It's Babylon. You know, you have to go to work to earn a living. You can't grow your own food. You don't have your own land. This is against nature and against the way God intended. So they want people to live in these cities. Yeah, so maybe the cities are overpopulated now, so they need to control people by culling some people. But the earth is not overpopulated. Anybody that's been in an aeroplane who flies over the land, flies through the country, can see that there is land that is not populated, country for miles and miles. Sometimes when you're flying, there's nobody there. So what the problem is people, the rich, wealthy people own that land sometimes, and you're not allowed to go there, you're not allowed to live there. And they're controlling people to live in these cities. Yeah, and now they're saying apparently they want to reduce the population by 93.6%. So, how are they going to do this, people? Well, we've got the coronavirus. That could be a possible way. So maybe they've, made this virus to do a little bit of that work for them. Evil, but it could be true, obviously, people, Let's look at other ways they could do it. HAARP. You've heard of HAARP? It's a weather manipulation machine in Alaska. Now, the HAARP machine can change the weather patterns around the Earth, So what they do is they heat up the ionosphere to move the jet stream, and then the weather patterns change. Now, in Ethiopia, Kenya now, they're suffering with locusts eating all the crops, which is going to cause famine, of course, which will kill lots of people. So it seems like there's a lot going on. There's earthquakes, there's flooding, there's so much going on. They try to put it down to global warming, but really and truly, I think they're making a lot of this happen themselves. And some of it is natural. We're coming towards an end of a time, an end of an era, and even possibly there's outer solar system planetary objects that are causing the Earth to go through these stages, and it's all predicted in the Bible, I believe. So it's it's all part of what's going to happen. But the HAARP machine itself can create earthquakes, weather manipulation, like I said. So it's about depopulation, and evidence could be the Georgia Guidestones. That's one of the top pieces of evidence that I've seen. That's physical. It's in your face. It tells you that they want to keep the population under the 500 million. It's ridiculous, So these things are happening, people. You just got to look into it, look at the evidence. Maybe even terrorism is obviously it could be a way of it's just sacrifice, human sacrifice, because these evil people, that's what they sacrifice animals, they sacrifice people. We don't do these things. So people, check it out for yourself. This is Rasta Pastor in the name of Selassie, Yahushua Selassie the First. Jah Rasta Tafari. Bless you all. One love. Yeah.